How's it going?
Hi there.
I'm Dusty.
I'm Mike.
Nice to meet you, Mike. Member of the club?
Yes, sir.
Right on.
Sierra's chapter, not the
Okay.
Dominican chapter.
Right on.
Doesn't matter. We all love each other.
And you live local, though?
No, Reno, Nevada.
Okay. So you
You
drove
came all the way down for this?
Right
my,
on.
my wife's in the Women in Motorsports conference that's going on. So
Oh.
she's leaving me unattended for the rest of the weekend to go.
Very
to the
good.
race cars.
Unsupervised. That's kind of bad.
Right on. Yeah. Well, that's bad. Might come home with a new car or something silly.
She'll kill me if I do that, but I'd love to.
If you guys want to
Come in,
you
come
can come closer. We'll get in the shade. Maybe
He doesn't bite anymore.
We've been pretty good.
He's been defanged.
Who has?
You have.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to bite. Sure.
So beautiful.
So why don't we start with who you are and what you do?
Okay. I'm Dusty Renteria. Morning, you guys. Team manager at Paul Miller Racing here with our two GTD Pro cars. Welcome, you guys. Glad you can make it, especially him. He drove from Reno, so that's pretty special, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's kind of busy leading up to FP2. We were just okay in yesterday's practice, so a bunch of wholesale changes trying to get closer to the front. So we'll see how it plays out, but we're going to give it a go.
So can you disclose like what was changed between FP1 and FP2?
In short, low-speed corners don't really favor our car. Power
Right.
down, turning, it just isn't where its strong suit is. High-speed tracks, like your Mosport, your Road America, VIR, it's very good for us. Here we struggle. Detroit will probably struggle a little bit. Setup-wise, I leave that to the engineers. I don't get involved with that because everybody's got an opinion, and those guys get paid a lot of money, so their opinion matters more. Let them do their thing, and so they're the pros.
All right, and we've got new race cars, right? Because these are Evos.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between what was raced last year and the Evo?
So Evo updates were mostly suspension. I would say the majority of the outside of the car remain the same. There's some aero components that they've added, but externally, still about the same car. Suspension, again, their goal target is to make the car run the same lap time the whole duration of a stint, which is seemingly impossible, but for gentleman drivers, because in a lot of series in Europe and around the world, you run a pro and a gentleman, right? So to make the car drivable for a gentleman so that it's not on the edge all the time, that was one of their goals, is to make it kind of user-friendly for both a pro to maximize lap time, but also your bronze drivers to be able to be comfortable turning the lap time as well. So yeah, big steps forward. There'll be some new turbochargers middle of this year as an update. Constant safety things that they're always working on it. It's super impressive how committed BMW Motorsport is to racing and with the goal of winning in mind. Yeah, not just participating. Yeah.
So tomorrow, the temperature is supposed to be a lot less than today.
Yeah.
How do you adjust from going to a slippery track to a possibly harder compact track?
Again, I'll leave that to the engineers a bit, but in short, it's literally you try to take advantage of the available grip, right? So you kind of go with maybe a stiffer spring, stiffer sway bar settings. Obviously, you adjust tire pressures to accommodate the temperatures, but in general, it's very little, because I think the high today is 68, tomorrow's maybe 61. So it's not a drastic sweep like it would be if it was 20 degrees difference and raining. Then you would take a big setup change. For here, we're just going to try and maximize what it's going to be this morning, which will be as close to similar as tomorrow. Qualifying, obviously, we put a little bit different setup on the cars for qualifying, but this morning, we're going to be in the mid-60s, which is going to be kind of close to race time, so they'll make adjustments for that during this session. Yeah. Of course, feel free.
Is there a difference between the amount of fuel for qualifying and the race itself, or is it the same?
No, it's different. Obviously, you want to run with the least amount of weight possible, so you basically run the amount of fuel you need to get through qualifying and have 3 or 4 liters left. So it's calculated down pretty low. You don't want to pack the weight around. Where in the race, you obviously run at the maximum capacity that you can run to lengthen your stint, optimize as many laps as you can get. So yeah, it's a big difference. Yeah.
All right. Hesse and Harper like to use lots of berms. Are you happy with them?
Berms?
Like
Oh,
the hot dogs.
Oh,
How do you guys like that for the car setup?
those crazy kids. No, they future legends for sure. Like,
Absolutely.
no doubt they'll be GTP drivers in a matter of years. So talented for their age, so experienced. Setting up to go over curbing. All of them kind of do it. What it does now with some of the, and this is an Evo thing, with the torque sensing axles. It's very sensitive going over curbing because you get spikes. So nowadays, it's not the preferred way to go about it. Either you kind of split the curbing or you use the least amount of curbing to prevent this over torque thing that can happen now. So
That's a torque sensor that's
On the
by the
axle.
rules.
Yeah.
So they're looking for spikes in torque that would
Yeah,
be beyond the capability of the
yeah,
car.
maybe to better explain it. So there are sensors now on the axles that measure how much torque is going to the wheel when it's bouncing over curves. You can step outside if you want. Yeah, it's going to be noisy.
Never fails.
Nah, that's okay. It makes for a good video too, I guess. Yeah. Just in brief, they're starting to do the warm-up process, which once the engine gets to a certain temperature, they'll start doing a bleed cycle that you'll hear. It'll take a minute. They'll put the car in gear, run it through all 6 gears to warm the gearbox up a bit. Set the water pressure, check the oil level, the kind of standard issue things before going out on track.
How long does that process take?
The total process is probably about 3 minutes. Yeah.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I remember like the M8, it was a very long, involved process. And I know you weren't involved with that program.
Yeah, indirectly I was, but yeah,
It was a big
yeah.
process getting it
The problem with that one is they got a bunch of DTM engineers involved in it, so it was engine oil warming, coolant warming before you even started the thing. It was pretty in depth, but yeah, this is much more user friendly for customer teams. But the M8 was just specific
That's
to
factory
team.
So we were talking about the torque sensors.
Yep.
When we got interrupted by the engine startup.
Yeah.
So I forgot where we left on these torque sensors on each of the axles, right?
Torque sensors on each of the axles, which are measuring, and the series is regulating how much torque is applied to the wheel. So with that, and obviously the loading and unloading over curbing tends to spike the sensor. So that's why nowadays BMW has the software pretty figured out where it can react fast enough. Rude.
Yeah, time it right.
Yeah. Now we have about 25 seconds before the next one.
Speak fast enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Spikes.
The software is pretty good at managing the over torques, if you will. But it is something that really aggressive curbing you can't use.
So is that instructions? To max it then, specifically, try not to use so much of the curbs.
On certain curbing, some you can get away with. There are more aggressive ones. Be a couple minutes of this. So anyhow,
I noticed at Indy 8 Hour, they and Gusto would just fly through the curbing.
The difference with that in the 8 hours, they don't run torque sensors and SRO, so they didn't have that issue or that concern.
I don't know if I have them in Europe and what series they raced.
WEC runs them. They ran them last year. This is the first year for IMSA.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so they know.
I'm sorry?
So they know.
Yeah. You're hanging out for both days since you drove this far?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get all the
Right on. The GS race should be pretty good today. With the M4 qualifying on pole and GS.
So the Peregrine racing.
Yeah, good for them.
There's a little pause it right there because we're not going to hear anything.
Yeah. Fair enough.